If you want to see what the presentation looks like, it'll be about 5 or 6 seconds behind, but it will send a link. Rusty will send a link on the Twitter if you want to click on it just to see what it looks like.
Awesome.
But you certainly
I trust
don't
you
have
guys.
to.
No, it's all good. Let's see here.
We're ugly, by the way.
Is live. There we go. And tweet that out, and folks will be able to see that and come on and hang out with us. We'll go live on the recording. We're live on YouTube now. We'll start the recording probably in about a minute or so, minute and a half. Let folks sort of trickle in and say hey and join us and everything. Sure,
Right,
I'm going to
so-
point the light over toward you just a bit more.
All right, because I need to be lit up.
You pale.
You like to get folks a chance to get on there and not hear us just doing crap on the front end. Because it's weird doing a live deal and then also recording for audio. You guys do that now, so maybe you probably have that experience as well. I don't know. Wouldn't want to assume.
Yeah, a little bit. Depends on the show, but yeah.
Cool. Let's
All
see
right.
here. I got a couple folks joining in. Let's see.
We've got a question from our guest from last week for you that I think people are going to find rather humorous. You've never been bashful on
I
glass.
can't wait.
You've never been bashful on Glass Case of Emotion, and you have a big fan in the major NASCAR media that wanted to ask you something about it.
Well, I'm excited.
Awesome. With that, we got a few folks in. Beast, Robert, Brett, what's happening? I bet Roger's back there somewhere.
He almost always is.
Just hadn't poked his head in yet. There he is. He's got a beer ready in case someone call the roll in a single breath. Oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
oh, that's funny. Yep.
So there's a live chat wall, Kim, that we'll sometimes react to if somebody says something really funny or asks a great question, and we'll improv on that. Like Rusty said, he's really good at managing pace, and we always will throw out things that we think make less sense to do than what's actually in our show sheet, which is always very thin. We're big-time fans of long form, so if you wanted to talk 30 minutes on a single topic, we will do that.
All right.
Yep.
Good to know.
If you find yourself doing a grandpa story, just keep grandpaing.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're a lot more, I guess, boisterous and fun once the podcast gets started. Right now, like we're Sherwin's getting stuff set up, I'm getting stuff set up, so we sound like awkward nerds, which we are. But
well, I think what
a little
she
more
does
personable
with the Glass Case of Emotion fits very well.
yeah,
we don't do a very blue show. We keep it sort of closer to the vest than that. Not that we don't have horrific language when we're by ourselves, but we try to do that just because sometimes we have parents who like to put it on in their garage with their kid while they're tinkering on their car, and we don't want to. What's the word?
run them off.
Sensitive ears.
yeah, exactly.
But every now and again, some language will slip in there.
Gotcha.
Nothing like Blaney,
I'll be
though.
on my best behavior. Yep.
All right, so with that, I think I'm ready to start hitting this record button. Sherwin, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, let's
Kim,
do it.
we might disappear for like 90 seconds, so just hang on tight.
All right.
All right, we'll talk to you soon, and we're recording now.
This week,
Welcome, yo! That's right. This is the Pregame Engineer Tailgate Mirror Racing Podcast, episode number 192. It's Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019. I'm Tailgate Mirror Rusty Wallace. I'm in the PTM Podcast studio with Pregame Engineer Andrew Sherwin. What's up, dude?
Pretty stoked to be here. I think this will be our first time having somebody that competes in the professional space with the type of podcast that we like to do.
That's right, and the type of podcast we love to listen to. Before we get into that, y'all know what the deal is. This podcast is sponsored by you. That's right. Go to patreon.com/PTM Join the What You Drink Club for as little as $1 a month and get that free koozie. Best part is, every cent, once again in 2019, we're donating to sponsoring drivers, so join the PTM Posse today. Be a part of the sport you love. This week's show brought to you by our official sponsors at the $5 and up per month level. Here we go. Laura Hinch, Aaron Britton, Robert Keplinger, Colby McClam. I already messed it up. Here we go. Eric Kepner, Ryan Kiefer, Patrick Cleary, Jeff Brown, Brandon Crowd, Kathleen McDonald, Stacey Wright, Brandon Carl, Rika Porter, Jump Bob, Les Miller, Tommy Witt, Julie Bozzi, John Pearson, Eddie Greer III, Young Motorsports, David Mullins, Patrick Johnson, Brett Morris, Gail Delaney, Crystal Smoke, and welcome to the PTM Posse, Mr. Fred Rosado. Woo! Awesome. So Fred, by the way, is an official super duper sponsor. So Fred, be on the lookout. We're going to send you some emails and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Thank you for doing that and everything that you got going on. So, with that, Sherwin, I think it's time to go ahead and bring on our guest.
I would.
We're real excited to have her on. She's a co-host of the Glass Case of Motions podcast alongside Ryan Blaney and Chuck Bush, reporter for MRN Radio and former Miss Sprint Cup on Twitter at Kimmy Coon. Welcome to the show, Kim Coon. Kim, what's happening?
I am so happy to be on the show. I feel like we've been talking about this for a long time.
Oh, man. That's a lot of pressure on us, Sherwin. We better be on our best behavior, worst behavior. I don't know which one.
Somewhere in the middle, I reckon.
Somewhere in the middle. We're just going to do what we always do. And we always do one thing, Kim, to start off the show. What you drinking tonight?
Oh, goodness. I knew you were going to ask this. I have no alcoholic beverage I'm drinking. I'm actually drinking kombucha, which is fermented tea if you've never tried it.
Now, that's like very slightly alcoholic, right? I mean, it's
yes,
okay.
It has a very small percentage of alcohol. I was telling you guys earlier I have to get up in the morning, so unfortunately can't imbibe like I would like to be doing. If that was the case, it'd be probably some sort of tequila or bourbon, but tonight it's just kombucha.
Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure I had that in Denver one night when they shut off alcohol sales, but the kombucha joint was allowed to stay open when I was in Denver. And I had it, and I was like, this is weird, but it don't suck. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, it's fine. You know what? That means Kim,
I feel like, people either love it or they hate it.
That means Kim is drinking a more alcoholic beverage than most of our guests anyway.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Kim, the most common response to that question is, in fact, water.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So we do not belittle anyone's choice of beverage. We celebrate those that are willing to get a little rowdy. We've had that a time or two.
That's right.
Was
That's actually shocking that water is the answer.
Yeah, well, it's definitely healthier for sure.
Hydration. What were you saying, Sherwin? What was the movie maker something or other?
Oh, remember Cynthia? She showed up like 15 minutes late, and she was hammered.
Oh, that was fantastic. Yes, that was so much fun. What a great episode. Have somebody on that's completely trash, more so than we will be like at the end of our episodes.
Yeah.
So, Kim, I know we said we're not an interview kind of show, but we want folks to get to know you, and we appreciate you being on. We'd like to get to know you a little bit. You've got this long NASCAR history. Between Miss Sprint Cup and doing the MRN stuff and doing the podcast and meeting all these drivers and stuff, I'd like to know what was your first holy cow moment, whether it was meeting somebody or being on TV or getting recognized or something like that. What was the first? Oh my gosh, I guess I'm a celebrity. I say celebrity or am I really a celebrity now? What's going on?
Oh gosh, a holy cow moment. Well, I think first of all, kind of just a general holy cow moment was my very first victory lane, which was the Daytona 500 back in 2011, because the Wood brothers won, and they hadn't been to victory lane in forever, and Trevor Bayne won. So that was just a little bit of like a holy cow moment, like this is my job, this is so cool. But then a holy cow moment, probably the first time I got asked for like an autograph, which I can't specifically pinpoint when and where that was, but definitely somebody wanting your signature on paper is just a very weird kind of thing.
Did you go back home and practice after that?
I will tell you this. So I cheered in the NFL before I was in NASCAR, just as kind of a hobby, a glorified hobby, and had gone by Kimberly when I was cheering in the NFL, and that was just way too long, I learned, in terms of signing that as an autograph, because we would occasionally get, fans that would have our pictures at the football game tailgates. So I specifically made sure to go by Kim when I became a Sprint Cup, thinking that there might be autographs in my future. And so I certainly didn't want to have to sign Kimberly the entire time. It sounds silly, but true story.
Well, I can tell you this. My name, Andrew, has become an A and then two squigglies and then a middle initial that is also turned into the beginning of my last name, and then it's a swirl. Like, I got the full-on doctor prescription thing going on.
Well, it's always impressive to me, these folks. Joey Logano, if you look at his signature, it's like, man, that is pristine. That looks
he does
so
every
good.
single letter.
Yeah, and they have flair on them and stuff,
Yeah.
and that's the case with a lot of these guys. I'm like, if somebody were to ask me, you remember at Atlanta Motor Speedway, we were there at the Tweet Up, and Kelly Crandall came up to us and said, I just signed my first autograph. Somebody wanted. She's like, I didn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd probably put a big old X.
And then hashtag PT.
Yeah. Well, like on those electronic sign your name at the grocery store thing, I always put a big old X. Yeah, just because
it always makes
funny.
me laugh when you do that.
It's always funny.
It never catches up.
What was that?
It never catches up. Like when you're signing the electronic thing, I feel like there's like a delay, and so it doesn't even look like anything. Because you can't see what you've just written until 2 seconds later.
Yeah, it's gobbledygook.
Yeah. I've had many a cashier just start bust out laughing. They go, "Really? That's how we're doing this?" I'm like, what I'm gonna do on my next credit card is put an X on the back of it and just be like, "Yeah, see."
That actually would be really funny.
You can verify it; it's right here. So I don't know what I would do. Like my signature is garbage in terms of like if I were to try to sign it. I was signing some papers the other day for something. Oh, my will. That was funny.
It's an important
I'm
one
like,
to get
all right,
right.
look, this is an important document. I should probably try to sign my name. And you start signing, you're like, you know what? Give up. It's fine. I'm done. So, I mean, it's my will. I'll be dead. Who cares, right?
Right.
Anyway, we're having fun.
As long as you got some lawyer stamp on it, I think you're probably good.
Yeah. There was a witness. What do they call him? Notary? Yeah, the notary stamped it. So it's on her now.
It's your fault.
Right. Kim, terrible segue. What was your favorite part about being Miss Sprint Cup?
Oh gosh, I made a lot of great friends. Most of the people that are my closest friends now were people I used to work with as Miss Sprint Cup. But in terms of the actual job, I think just the fact that we got to travel, which I still get to do now, because I am not cut out for like a 9-to-5 desk job. I've done that. I need variety and that sort of thing. Travel was definitely a plus to me. And then, I mean, you can't beat being in Victory Lane. That's not a thing that everybody gets to do, and to be there to celebrate with the drivers when they win, it's just incredible. You can't describe it. It was probably the best part of the job.
Cool. Yeah. I think, you know what, and then not only travel and seeing new places, but you get to see a race every week. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I get paid to watch cars go in circles or
That's
the
right.
occasional left and right turn.
I pay people to go watch cars turn in circles, so I'm with you. After that, there's the transition to the media. What were some of the things that you kind of had to learn quickly when you went into MRN and went into the media space?
Oh, goodness, everything. They basically threw me into the fire. Because when I was originally hired, thought it was going to be more of like, deep dive interviews, which I do. Like I do a one-on-one interview every week and still do, that airs in the pre-race show. But they hired me because they liked what I had done with Miss Sprint Cup and what they had seen in terms of my broadcast potential, but didn't quite know I was going to be, hit the ground running, pit reporting during practices and qualifying and that sort of thing. So, it was pretty rough in the beginning, but you got to learn and you got to do it. And honestly, the best way to learn is to just have to go out and do it. So I was actually pretty lucky because you learn fast. You learn to survive. But that was probably the biggest kind of, shock when I went to the MRN side was, oh, I'm doing this. This is happening. Let's go.
Who was it we had on recently, Sherwin, who had a similar answer to being, and it might have been, I don't know if it was MRN person or who it was.
Was it Jeff or Bob maybe even?
It might have been Bob Pockers saying that just getting thrown straight into the getting thrown in the fire deal. It sounds like a common theme among the media types, kind of sink or swim. Hey, here you go. See how it goes and see what the people say.
Well, I think that's the way we treated ourselves in the private, just fan media spaces. Look, the only way we're going to learn how to do this is to screw up.
Yeah,
and that's what we did for
honestly.
like 30 episodes.
That number goes up every time. It's going to be like, the first 191 episodes were crap.
Are pretty
192. Kim Coon's going to bring us up from the dead. How is it? We had Jeff Striegel on PTM 176. As a matter of fact, I had to go look it up.
16 episodes. ago.
16 episodes ago. So 4 months or so ago. And he's not, I'm not saying he's an intimidating person at all. He is so engaging and so positive and so cool. But his coolness to me and his ability on the mic is, and I even said it to him on the show, that's intimidating even. Did you find any of that as well? And what's it like working with Jeff?
Oh, for sure, 100%. I think actually I fell into the trap at the beginning of listening to my coworkers who have been, doing this job for some of them for as long as I've been alive, and thinking, oh my gosh, I need to sound like them. And then you kind of, after doing it for a while, learned, no, that's not what I was hired for. Like, I was hired to be a younger voice, a female voice, to have my own kind of style. But it did take a second to be like, oh, well, I don't sound like, Jeff Striegel or Mike Bagley or these guys. And then kind of realize, no, well, I'm not supposed to. Like, that's not the point. Jeff's great, though. Jeff's one of my favorites. He and I have a lot of fun. If fans have ever been to a race, when the broadcast goes to commercial, we're still on the queue, and we joke, and we do karaoke and all sorts of fun. And he and I really kind of rib each other, so we have a good time.
I was going to bring that up because we have engaged our fan interest with NASCAR by being on the scanner for, 10 plus years at this point.
As long as they've had it online, at least.
Yeah, but we occasionally will flip over to the radio and listen to y'all. And it is really fun when y'all cut to commercial because you get to kind of pause and take a breath, and you get to just be a human being for a minute, and you don't really have to worry about who's hearing what you're saying. It's what it sounds like to me, and that to me actually improves the experience for fans if they're paying attention and listening to those things. That's what we've been trying to coach people up for years now. That look, there's a ton of things out there. It's not just watching it on television. You can get these wild, different experiences if you're willing to engage to the opportunities that are in front of you.
100%. We get the most social interaction from people at track because they're listening to the commercial breaks. Yes, they love the broadcast, and that's why they tune in to, MRN's channel when they're at track, but they specifically dial us in to hear, the jokes and the singing and the, giving each other strife, that sort of thing. So it's definitely become a fan favorite thing to listen in, specifically during the commercials when we're just, riffing.
Well, I love it when somebody asks, are we hot? And the producer comes on and says, yes, you're hot. And you all have to go scatter like roaches and start doing your job again.
Oh, no. Yeah, we straighten up real quick when we hear that. Mics are hot.
So outside of all those, you've also, I named this episode, We're All Glassholes. You have the Glass Case of Emotions podcast there. Tell us how you got started with that and what got you in there.
Oh, it was kind of the perfect storm. So Ryan Blaney, for those of you who don't listen to Glass Case, hopefully you will after you hear us sell it. You should definitely. He was kind of at a point where he wanted to do something to increase fan base, and I think he had some conversations with Dale Jr., and Dale had said, a podcast is a really great way to kind of create your own content and let fans know who you are off the track, and at the same time, my boss, Tim Clark, who's, I don't know that anybody would recognize the name because he's more of a behind-the-scenes guy, had conversations with Ryan, and then I was, doing stuff for NASCAR digitally, and he and I had conversations, and had talked about, like, we need to do something that NASCAR hasn't before, something a little edgier. This was kind of the time, the height or kind of the end of when Katie Nolan was doing Garbage Time, and that sounded kind of fun to me, something along those lines. So it kind of all, again, came together, this perfect storm of, well, why don't we try a podcast, and why don't we, group you guys together? We'll put Chuck in there too. We actually did like a pilot episode, which nobody's ever heard. Maybe one day it'll get released to see if we had kind of chemistry, the three of us, and just hit the ground running. Haven't looked back.
Well, I think it's really cool that they allowed you the creative freedom to do what you do, and we'll talk about that more later in the show, just because it's something wildly different than the other professional podcasts that are being put out there.
Yeah.
Just to me, the creative freedom to be an adult and just talk about adult things and then go, oh, yeah, this is a NASCAR podcast. Can we talk about this thing over here?
Right. No, what was I going to say? I had something, but it's gone now.
Yeah,
so
that'll happen.
I thought that's going to be gone. I'll move on to the next one. So I'll mention this. You recently, maybe in the last month or so, did a AMA, Ask Me Anything on Reddit. And somebody asked you about the best media center food. Now, in case you didn't know or Sherwin didn't say it before, we're in Atlanta. Atlanta Motor Speedway is our home track. And I had a little like moment when you said, over at Atlanta Motor Speedway, they've got that Quick Trip pastry case and they've got the gas station rollers and stuff in the media center there.
Oh yeah.
And you had mentioned that. So my question to you is, how many taquitos and or buffalo chicken rolls do you consume on a Atlanta Motor Speedway weekend?
Oh, man. Actually, I don't do the taquitos or any of the savory stuff. I'm a sucker for the sweet stuff, for like the pastry cake. So it's like the apple fritters that I have to be careful how many apple fritters I eat when I'm there during the weekend. Usually I only allow myself to do like 2 over the course of a weekend if I'm being good. But there are people who put down like dozens. But the apple fritter is my go-to.
Hey, don't you be making fun of those dozen people now. We're good people.
I was going to say, I think somebody told us a story about Mike Neff eating like 33 Martinsville hot dogs one weekend.
I don't doubt that.
You ought to be July 4th eating the Nathan's hot dogs up against the champions and stuff at that point. That's crazy. So we'll get in the report card in a second, y'all, but I wanted to take a second right now and talk about Sherwin. We never really officially announced this on the podcast.
True.
And we sort of it happened, and then it was out on Twitter, and then we sent out earlier on Patreon the announcement and everything about the 2019 sponsorship. The money from last year on Patreon, the PTM Posse raised $1,597.29. We rounded that up to $1,600. And last week we met once again. We deliberated for a while. What should we do with it again this year? Jensen Jorgensen once again this year. It will be it has been, because the check has been delivered.
It's been delivered.
Yep. Has been named the PTM Posse sponsor or driver again this year. So we're super excited about that. Y'all, he's running for the Legends Pro Asphalt title, and he's running in like all kinds of different
series.
And
that's like a
stuff.
United States deal.
Right.
Not just Atlanta Motor Speedway.
And guess what place he's in right now? 4th.
Yeah.
And guess how many races he's won in a row? 2. Like he's killing right now. And they are committed to heading to the top of that series. This is a thing that, like, if you look at the past winners of that cup, we're talking about like Chase Elliott. We're talking about did Larson win one?
Not Larson. Probably Joey Logano.
There's you recognize every name on this list, and Jensen, his name, if it ain't this year, it's gonna be sometime soon.
Right.
He's gonna be on top of this thing. So thank you for everybody who contributed. We posted pictures. We gave him one of them giant what do you call it?
I said that foam, not foam board, but like one of them like
corrugated
old school like golf tournament size checks.
Oh yeah, Happy Gilmore style. Threw him in the back of his.
I don't care. Give me one of them big ones.
yeah. So we gave him the big old check. We put every person's name who put money into the Patreon account from last year, and gave every bit of it plus $2.71.
We don't take a dime for ourselves. It's just a fun opportunity.
And we put that picture up, and hope everybody enjoys it. And be sure to follow Jensen. And we got some cool swag stuff we're looking at as well. So be on the lookout for that. Kim, I hope you're still there. But we needed to make the announcement just now that that's what was going on this year.
Still here. Haven't lost
Still here.
Yet.
Excellent.
All right, sweet.
So with that, I think, Sherwin, it is time to tear her down. We don't have a whole lot to tear down. I mean, shoot. I'll play it anyway. Here it comes.
Well, a couple of funny things, a couple random things, one sad thing, and then, yeah.
And then enjoy yourself. So, first period on the report card, obviously no race this past weekend, but how was everyone's Easter? Kim, how was your Easter?
My Easter was fantastic. We finally had good weather in Charlotte, which I don't know if Atlanta's been getting this, delayed winter, but it's been pretty chilly up until this weekend, and so we finally got some sunshine and no rain. So just enjoyed it with friends. My family's in Orlando. I thought about going down there, but because I have been traveling so much this first part of the year, I was like, I need to just stay home in Charlotte this weekend. Did that, enjoyed it. The Easter Bunny still came to my parents' house, though. So
all right.
Easter basket should be making his way up to Charlotte, hopefully this week, via UPS man.
We have very similar weather to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Especially this time of year.
My mom and sister are both the very creative types, so, I mean, Easter Bunny still visits every year for us. I don't know about you, Sherwin, but...
Santa does a good job, but the Easter Bunny's kind of backed off a bit.
Okay, I got you. Well, and the worst part is when you get... I say the worst part. I shouldn't say that. It's I get a... you know how Southern women cook, and they cook... there's going to be 4 people at the table... And so they're going to cook for 57.
That's what I was say 58.
You
undercut me by 1.
And so that's my mother. And so she also at Easter sends me candy for 58. Right. So I have to figure out what to do with this. Convenience store's worth of candy.
Right. We had enough We had 3 people. It was me, my mom, and dad. I live on the south side of Atlanta, Kim, and. Just the 2 of us, or the 3 of us. My sister's out in Denver, Colorado. And my dad bought a 11-pound honey-baked ham, which is enough ham for 58 people.
Right.
So I brought some home. I think we had a scalloped potatoes. It would have fed at least 12. We had Manhattans, because that's my dad's thing. Those were delicious.
Your dad's Manhattans don't mess around either. Don't let nobody get you wrong.
He does not skimp on one of the ingredients that's the high-octane one.
Nor the amount. Like, if you have 2 of Papa Sherwin's Manhattans, you ain't even walking home.
Yeah, like, you shouldn't drive.
You're going to be upside down.
Definitely don't drive.
Boyer and Junior spent their Easter shotgunning beers to each other. That was fun.
That was hilarious. How about Caitlin Larson, man? She did it faster than I could, I guarantee you.
I think she did it faster than Dale did, too.
Yeah, by a bunch.
Dale kind of, drank a beer quickly.
Boyer did one about, Dana Stelk used to do one.
Yeah, or Sousa or somebody. Those. He inhaled a beer. And
it was crack. And then he threw it down.
If I hadn't personally seen people do it that fast before, you remember Nuts used to do that too.
And Sweet was really fast.
Yeah. So all these people.
We're naming a whole bunch of people that were in our fraternity. Yeah, I'm sorry,
but
you're third party at this point.
We were not those.
I was terrible. I would puke if I did it now. No kidding.
Well, I did it last year against Brett's friend Puke, and he did puke. So
no, barf.
Yeah, barf. Yep. So that's
oh
anyway,
God,
boy,
we go to too many races and get in too much trouble.
Yeah, we're getting deep into that. Let's go to second period. Sherwin, talk to us about this one. You wrote this one. NASCAR dollar bills is way.
Oh yeah. Well, an announcement came out today that the RTA, in lieu of the fact that NASCAR Cup Series is not going to pursue another entitlement sponsor, that they were going to set the floor at 7 figures for contingency sponsorship in the place where all used to see all those different little stickers, in between the front of the door and it's between the A post and the front tire.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, man, I kind of tweeted at somebody I thought might know. I said, how much real estate are you going to get for $1 million? And they're like, well, I don't know that we've figured that out yet, but like we're entering a whole new world of sponsorship in the Cup Series where those spaces are going to be available, but I think you're going to have to buy them for every car at once.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Huh. Kim, what do you think?
I don't know. It should be interesting not having like an overall series sponsor, especially me who that was my, foray into NASCAR, was working for the series sponsor, that being Sprint at the time. So it's going to be interesting. I guess we just are going to call it the NASCAR Cup Series, which is easy. We're not going to have to switch that. But really interested to see kind of how this structure takes shape in terms of what they're going to do, what kind of, maybe though, it could have the potential to bring in sponsors that otherwise wouldn't have taken a chance on NASCAR. So it could be a good thing.
I don't disagree with you at all. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think the RTA is being aggressive with their approach, which they absolutely should be. I think they're going to have to figure out what is it, what does that real estate figure mean? Because there was not a lot of good visibility when a car is running at 180 mile an hour to some of those contingency sponsors.
Right. It wasn't until they were in Victory Lane that you would see that little Moog sticker.
Yeah,
or something,
you see the STP
whatever.
sticker, you see the Sunoco sticker, you see the Coors Light pole sticker, all those little bitty stickers.
Yeah. So, it's I think, Sherwin, you bring up a good point with the real estate part of it. That and I like this idea, by the way. I like this. As long as somebody gets their ROI against it, I guess. That's
all we want. We want this to be this. We want this to land as being beneficial for the sport,
right,
and the teams,
right. So, I like the idea. Like you said, kind of aggressive on the 7-figure deal, but hey, we'll go with it. And with all the in-car cameras and stuff now, maybe they can get a prime real estate elsewhere. I mean, you've never seen stickers and stuff in the car till all these in-car camera stuff happen, and then boom, look here, we got it on the every post everywhere. And
say, how many
underneath their feet where there's brake stuff, you'll see the little STP stickers.
Yeah, there'll be stickers on stuff in there. I think it's going to be interesting to see the teams be able to take all those monster stickers that show up in those in-cars and change them to their primary or change them to their whatever their contingent sponsor is.
Right. Right. So let's move on. We'll go third period, and I would like to hear what Kim's got to say about this one. Justin Haley making his Cup debut at Talladega. Kim, is this the appropriate place for someone to make their Cup debut, A? And B, what are your thoughts on Justin Haley?
I'm excited for him. I mean, good for him. I think we've seen some strength from him. Obviously, he was a dynamo in the Truck Series and then moved his way up to the Xfinity. I think he's still trying to find his footing in the Xfinity Series. But anytime a driver gets a shot at a Cup ride, they've got to say yes. I mean, if somebody walks you and says, hey, do you want to run a Cup car? I don't know that there are many drivers that are going to say, you know what, this might not be the race for me or the track for me. So you just got to, take the bull by the horns. And is Talladega a good place for a first Cup race for any driver? I mean, you could make the argument on either side. Yes, tends to get a little chaotic. There's a lot of carnage. We usually have a big one, so it can be this daunting, scary thing. But at the same time, for all intents and purposes, the trucks and the Xfinity cars and the Cup cars are all similar in the fashion that you really have to understand the draft and how the draft works at a super speedway. And so I actually think it's a good race to have, your first shot at a Cup car if you have a good understanding of how the draft works, and definitely, the layout of the track. So I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do because it's really an opportunity race. So I'm not going to say anybody could win, but, the possibility of seeing somebody besides a Penske or Gibbs in Victory Lane is not a long shot.
Absolutely. And Talladega has more first-time and more only-time winners than any other racetrack. And we see drivers make first starts at short tracks and at plate races, or whatever we're calling this thing we're doing now. So I think it makes sense. I think Justin Haley is one of the guys that has embraced this whole social media thing. He was just on Pocono Speedway's podcast this past week. He seems to understand the things that need to happen, much like Blaney, that you need to be in the public space as much as you can to drive the experience to fans of who you are, what you're about. And, he's won a couple races, so it's, he's already got a little bit of momentum.
This is awkward, Sherwin. I don't know if I take kindly to these level-headed, logical arguments, or not arguments, but points that are being
Where's
made.
my damn pitchfork?
Right. I need pitchforks. I need people pissed off and running around, fire and brimstone. No,
flaming concrete like Carlin used to talk about.
Yeah, flaming chunks of concrete flying over the head. I love that. I absolutely love what Kim said in terms of, hey, if you get that opportunity, you gonna say no? Oh, well.
I mean,
egg on my face then.
All you got to do is be there one more day.
Yep. So that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I'd love to see. I think I kind of baited this question, but I think Talladega, might as well be Talladega, right? If it's your Cup debut at Martinsville, it's probably not going to go well.
Especially
you're going to be down laps.
Yeah, what the standard deviation of what the car capabilities are. They're wildly different at Martinsville versus Talladega. Mm-hmm. You have a chance, to Kim's point.
Yep.
You do have a chance.
Yep.
Just because you're not in a great car doesn't mean you're going to finish 38th.
Right.
Stuff's going to happen. And you might finish 15th. And that might be all the exposure you need to develop your next sponsorship package.
Yeah. So we'll move on to fourth period. We're going hats off here, y'all. Brenda Jackson, mother of Dale Jr. and Kelly, passed away this last week. There's plenty of people. We say this, every time we're doing sort of hats off stuff. There's people who have done better eulogies, better. I know these folks better and everything. Condolences there. So I'm not going to go into some like soliloquy like I knew this person really well or anything. But I know how much this person means. And if you're watching, or if you're looking at Twitter and stuff, what was that video that came out? Boy, that was.
One of the coolest, so JRM did a tribute video narrated by Dale Jr.'s PR guy and the guy that sort of manages JRM now. His name eludes me right now. I'm sure Kim knows it.
Roger says Mike Davis?
Mike Davis.
Mike
Davis, the co-host of the Dale Jr. Download, and used to be the host period before Dale Jr. came on. I think the thing, so Brenda instilled a whole lot of she was just a no-filter, awesome lady, as you can tell. I would say PTM Posse, if you did not listen to Dale Jr.'s Dale Jr. Download with his mom, you have missed out on a glorious piece of audio that you should go back and find. I want to say that Kerry Earnhardt might have said it best. He said, Brenda wasn't my mom, but she certainly treated me like her son.
Oh, that's cool. So, Kim, did you have any interactions or any stories with Brendan? Just curious if you've been involved at all in there.
No, I did not have any, specific stories or moments. I had met her in briefly in passing when I had done a shop visit to JRM, but every single person I know in the industry that has come across her path, whether they worked for her or alongside her or at JRM or, were friends of the family, I have never heard an ill word spoken of her, and I think that, speaks to what a honest, hardworking, genuinely good person she was. And so, I consider it a misfortune that I never got to actually get to know her very well or work alongside her because, again, everybody that has only been able to say kind things about her over the years.
Well, I think we would echo those sentiments based on what we've seen and our little ability to interact in some of those spaces with those really cool people. So with that, we will head over to recess. replace
Recess
our
time.
hats.
Yep.
Get to some Ask PTM. Think we got a pretty fun one right off the top from somebody you might know, Kim.
That's right. So
Okay.
our guest last week, Mr. Bob Pockris, who had us, his contingency for being on the show was us eating these vegan sausage patties because we are.
Yes.
And we thoroughly enjoyed them.
Yeah, Rusty made some biscuits. We had a sausage patty and biscuit sandwich, and it was delicious, actually.
And we're sitting here drinking beer, so like drinking beer and having I was like, I need to make biscuits every week.
It was good. It
PTM,
was,
you know, and with that, so Sherwin, I actually made sausage biscuits again because it comes in a bag of however many there are. I made them for Sunday breakfast this past Sunday. Got up,
nice
made me
work.
some biscuits. I put cheese on them this time.
Did you
and
tell nobody what you did?
Nobody? What do you mean?
Or did you only make it for you and Serena?
Oh, I made it for me and Serena.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she knew.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you should have made it for your dad and then, not tell him.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No, so I made those. I put cheese on them, and I'll tell you this. The cheese, I think, made a negative effect. Like,
what about a little mustard?
The biscuit with sauce. Ooh, mustard. That's going to be next Sunday.
All right.
Or next Sunday, because you know what we're doing this Sunday. Anyway.
Hell, let's take him to Talladega and try to feed him to all those Arkansans.
Oh, man. I would feel bad. We would be uninvited.
We might.
To the next one.
We might.
Not because, they might like it, but they then won't like the idea of it. You know what I mean? Like,
they'll figure it out, and then we'll be in trouble.
Then we'll be in trouble. Anyway, Bob Pockers, he asks you, have you ever said anything on Glass Case of Emotions that you're afraid your mom might hear?
Oh, yeah, but, I don't really care. My mom, if you knew her, you wouldn't be that concerned if she heard something that was maybe a little inappropriate. She's got a good sense of humor. You know what? I don't know that my mom listens to Glass Case of Emotion. I know she knows I do it and that it's part of my job, but I honestly don't know that she's listened to an entire episode, which is probably to my benefit because I would likely have a lot of explaining to do. But she would never be mad or anything like that. If anything, she would roll her eyes or even laugh alongside me. But there's been certainly some things that, maybe I didn't want my dad to hear. So,
okay. See, now that.
So Dad, if you ever hear this podcast, maybe just stay away from Glass Case of Emotion. I don't know if it's your thing.
That's interesting. That's interesting. That's a dude versus...
Rusty and I are pointing at
each other. Yeah, we are.
Because
that's like a dude versus
that is
thing,
the thing.
Right?
Yeah, it is. Dad wouldn't give a damn about anything I said, but I might get a little nervous about what Mom thought.
What Mom was thinking. Yeah. Like, if my dad... I don't remember, obviously, 192 episodes of what I said, but I'll tell Dad, go ahead and listen. If you hear me say something a little bit, like, off color... Just, understand.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah, just go with it. It's fine.
There is a certain entertainment, stand-up-y sort of value to the way we exaggerate.
I feel like Mom, I would want to curate and be like, okay, Mom, here, listen to this one. Don't you listen to this one, though. I don't want you hearing that.
Right. So, I would not want to hear Mom listen to me tell the story about dynamite fishing.
Oh, no.
So, Kim, what's that from your angle, from the female side? Is it just essentially the same thing, just reversed?
Yeah, I think it's reversed. So I think most people would probably say, like, if you're a dude, you probably don't want your mom to hear, but yeah, sure, your dad can hear along. If you're a girl, yeah, you might not be concerned, what your mom listens to or hears you say, but man, Dad's a different story. So yeah, it's definitely a similar thing, but flipped.
Okay.
I think I would agree with that. We should have asked Bob. We should have pushed back on him and say, "Hey."
No, that's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
We got to it anyway, though. So.
And that's funny because I think it's Serena, like her and her mom. I mean, they'll go back and forth on some pretty heinous stuff, right? But
women talk to each other about stuff that's grody.
That like men won't talk to men about. Like, I mean, don't I
have one more thing I want to get to before we close this.
Do it.
It's like, Kim, I think you have arguably the most professional NASCAR podcast that talks about taking dumps than there is in this space, without a doubt.
I would agree.
A regular topic, as it turns out.
It's like it's in the show sheet every week. It seems like.
I mean, everybody poops. People enjoy talking about it. People enjoy listening to people talk about it. Honestly, we get complaints. Like, if there's an episode where we don't talk about it, or it's just very, like, light toilet talk, we actually, like, get complaints from fans, like, why didn't you guys talk about it this week? So we give the people what they want.
I'm not surprised by that a bit. I think it's hilarious. I listen every week, and I laugh when it's 20 minutes in, and everyone's still talking about a dump.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, this is funny.
All right, we're 60 minutes in. You know what? And this was there's something about Mary. You remember that movie?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And everybody was telling me how funny it was and how awesome it was. And the first time I watched it, I didn't get it. I'm sitting there with my watch, and it's like 30 minutes into an hour-and-a-half movie, and we're still doing the zipper in the. Dude gets his sausage stuck in the.
That movie
thing.
was so cleverly written. My mom didn't even get mad about the ear dangle.
Oh, the ear dangle. So that was what, like, the first time I watched it, I'm like, this is just horrific. This is terrible. And so if you sit me down now, I'm just going to laugh 30 minutes straight of dude, getting the chicken.
How did you get the beans above the franks?
Exactly. So anyway, the toilet humor, top notch. Keep it going. With that, let's gas it up, y'all, and let's talk about Talladega. We are physically, Sherwin, going to Talladega. Kim, I believe you are physically going to Talladega, yes?
I am. I leave Thursday afternoon.
We're going to have to try to meet you in person somehow, some way.
That would be delightful.
Now, do you ever do tweet ups? Do you go to those at all?
I don't, but I usually have some free time during the weekend where I'm out and about. So yeah, challenge welcome. I hope to see you out there.
Okay, we'll send you the info, and I'm sure Bob or Jeff would be.
Well, I mean, I think
stoked.
the best plan would be to try to come in between practices up somewhere close to pit road.
There's that too. Yep. All kinds of stuff.
Run into you.
How about Talladega Boulevard? Do you do Talladega Boulevard at night on like Friday?
I have done Talladega Boulevard before. I don't know that I'm doing it this time around. I will be out kind of in the campground area on Saturday. We're doing, actually, I don't know if this might be insider information. We're doing the podcast, Glassholes of Emotion, from Talladega. We're recording it, I think, at from 6 to 7 on Saturday. Not sure the location. I'm sure if there's going to be an audience welcome that we'll tweet that out at some point, but I'll be out there Saturday night. But yes, I have done Talladega Boulevard.
Awesome.
It is the Mardi Gras of NASCAR.
That's right. We know we only got you for a little bit more time here. Want to talk about a couple things. Number one, Dale Jarrett's going to be joining you, right?
Oh, yes. I'm so excited about this. I mean, we're trading one Hall of Famer for another, because usually we've got Rusty Wallace on it. Now we've got Dale. I've worked with Dale here and there over the course of my time in NASCAR on different projects. He is so much fun, so nice, so intelligent. I can't wait to see what he adds to the broadcast. So I was delighted when I saw that.
I think Dale Jarrett is in my NASCAR top 10 people I would like to sit down and have a beer with.
Tell you what, I came real close.
Oh, God, yeah.
Not really real close.
I mean, you were having a beer near him.
Yeah. So I went. So Kim, one day, sometimes I work in upstate North Carolina, and I stopped at the University Center Taco Mac, because Taco Mac's my jam. And I was actually working laptop, at the bar, and I went to go to the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh, that's Dale Jarrett." I'm like, well, I'll make sure I wash my hands extra good when I come back, and I'll shake his hand. And I just said, "Dale Jarrett." Just kind of pointed at him. He's like, "Yes, sir." I said, "Really appreciate what you're doing with MEC, man. Keep it up." He said, "Thank you." And then I went back to the bar.
I think, Kim, give me maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but when you see a celebrity or somebody you really respect like that, that feels like the way to do it, right? Not like, can I take a picture? Holy shit. I broke character.
Yes!
I said it first.
Yeah, I'm of the sort of like very low key. I would even say anything, if I did, it would be very low key. I don't really get like starstruck and like frenzied when I see celebrities. It's more of just a like, oh, that's cool. They're where I am, or they're a normal person too.
See, Sherwin, now Dad can listen to this episode, but I don't want Mom listening to it.
Right.
After cussing. So with that, talk to us right quick, Kim, about the storylines going into Talladega. What you're looking forward to?
Oh gosh, it's whether or not we're going to see a Team Penske driver in victory lane, and will that driver be Brad Keselowski? I think that's pretty much the major headline going into it. How good Brad is at super speedways. He's won, 6 times, I think, at this point on restrictor plate tracks, and 5 times at Talladega. So it's going to be Brad, and if it's not Brad, who is the contender that's going to beat him? It's pretty much the main thing going in. But we've obviously seen strength from Gibbs too, and it's Talladega. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, especially with this new package, we don't know what the hell's going to happen.
That's
yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That's right.
It's going to be could be crazy, and it could be a typical Talladega. So I'm interested to see how this plays out with the new package.
Well, so you remember last spring, to diverge really quick,
Yep.
25 seconds. Last year in the spring race is when all that wild sort of strategy was taking place because of the segments or stages, whatever we're supposed to call them now. I don't know. I never remember. And so everybody was spread out all over the track. I'm curious to see if that's what we'll see again. And, Ford's have been stout.
And for the first time, I have looked up the weather for this weekend. It looks like we're going to race. There's like very scattered showers on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nothing. So PTM curse might not. You remember last year we decided to go. We decided to go to Dega like a
4
week.
days
4 days before Dega happened, and so Mother Nature didn't get the word that we were going in time.
Yeah, no.
So she couldn't send the rain. That's the PTM curse there, Kim. We bring rain. We brought rain to Phoenix last year. That's how.
Oh no!
That's how bad.
Yeah, we're that good.
Yeah. So, we're now. I'm super duper excited. With that, it's time to make some picks. We got Dale Jr.
Start your engine!
There he is. All right, that means it is time to make some picks. Sherwin, you got Bob last week, kind of on the line separately after the show was over.
Yeah.
And he went ahead and picked Kim's boy Blaney to win the race.
Yeah.
So Bob Pockers has Blaney. We need to know, Kim, who do you have winning the race on Sunday?
Oh, I'm glad that Bob took a Team Penske car, because I think it's going to be a Team Penske car. I mentioned how good Brad was there, but I'm going to go with his teammate Joey Logano.
Joey, winner last year in this race. And I only remember that. Sherwin, we'll talk about it in a bit, but we keep saying it's one of the most memorable experiences at a NASCAR track I've ever had.
Yeah.
And so I remember every little bit. I remember what all happened, who was there, who was winning, everything. So anyway, I'll just get on 1 year ago nostalgic about it, but we're about to do it again. Fill the glass up again. Make it happen. Sherwin, it looks like the last picks that we did, I picked Harvick back in wherever in the world we raced last. He got 8th, and
where was it we just
you
was?
picked Chase at 15th. So Sherwin, you get to go first this time.
I'm filling it up again, man. William Clyde the second.
William, I'm writing it that way.
Ooh.
William Clyde the second, sir. That's ballsy. If there's a time for them to turn it around,
It's with this goofy ass whatever
with
package
this
we're running.
goofy ass deal that we're doing. So we might as well. It's almost an affront to not go with a Penske car. It's almost an affront to not talk about Ford right now. So I'm picking Denny Hamlin.
Jerk.
I know.
You did this to me before. Who was it that did that?
I don't know.
It was guy before Bob. I think, anyway, it doesn't matter. We got to get Kim out of here. We've already probably had her too long.
Yep. Kim, we'll let you go on that excellent note right there. Thank you so much for being on. Sorry we went over with you a bit. Hope you've had some fun.
Oh, no, I've had so much fun. Thanks for having me, and I hope I get to see you guys in Talladega.
Same here.
Check your DMs. I'll be in there.
Well,
I'll check my
Sherman's
DMs.
going to slide into
You
it.
trying to slide into my DMs?
You know it.
It's official now. Hey, it's business now, right?
Hey, I announce it to the entire world, so it's got to stay above board at this point.
Right. So thank you so much for being on. We appreciate it very much. We've had a blast, and we hope to see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thank you,
See ya.
Kim.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Awesome. Well, Sherwin, Kim said she had 45 minutes, and we kept her on for a little over an
54.
Oops.
We're always good at stretching them out a little bit.
They weren't. Every time we do that, they're not telling us, guys. It's about time for me to leave. So we jumped over a couple things here, Sherwin. Let's talk about a few things.
We did skip a couple.
Yep. Made sure we did.
Rightfully so. We had to get to those picks.
Right. Ask PETM, Fred Rosato asked us, have you guys ever taken, or by the way, at Fred Rosato, Rosato, the newest member of the PETM posse on the Patreon, and like I said at the top of the show, we'll be in touch with you here soon. Have you guys ever taken a rain check on shotgunning a beer with a guest? And I would have liked to said this while Kim was on.
I'm going to say, I presumed he was targeting Kim with this, so sorry,
Yeah.
Fred, if you were, because you're not going to get nearly as cool of an answer if someone like Kim responded to it. But I have, I don't know about rain check as much as I've hey, we're shotgunning, and I went to the bathroom. And then came back and everybody was done. I'm like, all right, good. I don't have to
What's
do
that?
it.
Shotgunning a beer with a guest. So here's my thing.
We've only had the one in here.
Well, and they're saying rain check on it. Like, we have a guest on. All right, we're going to have to shotgun a beer when we're together. Here's my problem, or here's the problem, Fred, is that when we are ready to shotgun a beer, when we're in the company of these people, they're at work, right? We see our guests, mainly the only time we ever see our guests is when they are at work.
We
are at play.
And I was going to say, we have only had a few campground guests on the show, and that was it really was kind of just random.
Right.
Mostly it was Jeffrey Whitler.
Jeffrey. That was awesome.
Cheers to him.
I would say every one of our guests owes us a rain check on shotgunning a beer. I think Spotter Brett, for sure.
Oh,
I think Kim
that's
Coon
a good call.
now, not owes us. Nobody owes us anything, but it would be super fun. But the problem is when we meet these people, they're at work. And we're like, hey, you want shotgun a beer? They're like, no, I have to drive a NASCAR.
Take it easy. Car.
Hey,
you got to add car at the end of that.
Just-
I know. So that's the biggest thing is y'all, the way we are organizing this show and the way we're lining up guests is we are mostly inviting professionals who will work during the weekend. And I'll tell you this firsthand, Talladega Super Speedway basically reached out and was kind of like, if y'all want to do the media thing, we can probably hook that up. And I'm like, I don't think so.
Not this
I'm
time.
like,
Not this time.
There's just too much fun to be had, and we don't want to behave ourselves.
I would say that I could possibly do it, like in the fall or something, but I don't think I could do that either. You know what I mean?
Talladega just doesn't seem like the spot.
You shouldn't.
It's like when we go to Bristol in August. It's like, you want to be media? No.
No.
I want to hit it hard with old T. Wayne Wooderson down there in the campground.
It takes us 6 hours, 7 probably if you include the beer at in Asheville and everything.
Right.
Probably takes us 6.5 to 7 hours to get there, and you want me to put on a collared shirt and khakis and walk around with my credentials and not be drinking beer? I mean, mad respect for the media guys, but NASCAR race, I got to be drinking me some damn beer.
Well, it's fun to do it about twice a year, but we can't be doing it every time we go. We got to be with the people.
No. You know what we need to do?
Being with the people is what created this podcast.
Here's our 2019 goal, is to get one of these media types. I think Gluck is obviously the best option because he's, not...
He don't have a whole lot of rules.
I should say his employers include us, A.
Yes.
And B, I think they would encourage, not discourage, him having a fan experience at a track. So...
hey, if Brad Keselowski and Clint Boyer can go do it,
right?
Why can't Jeff?
For the whole weekend? The whole weekend, you're gonna be drunk the whole weekend. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna be hungover.
Buy his damn plane ticket,
and you need to buy beer at that point, or you need to drink a beer. It's gonna be, the worst time he's ever had that he never wants to do again, or best time he's ever had that he never wants to do again. Anyway,
that's a better one.
Yeah, best time I've ever had that I never want to do again.
Well, just you got to get deep into it enough to know that you can't go to the media center tomorrow.
That's right. So with that, Sherwin, let's do the new follower shout out. Let's see. First one, Leanne eGolf at eGolf Leanne, Leeann, Corla Joy's PR and marketing director. So super cool. Thanks
Sounds
for hanging
like
out.
We got an in there, maybe.
Yeah. And is eGolf the right, or is it a golf?
I have no idea. I did not learn how to pronounce it, or I would have instructed you appropriately. I would say eGolf.
I'm sorry, Leanne.
Or eGolf.
You know what? I thought at first when I was reading it that it was like a brand name. Hey, Leanne, and I work for eGolf, right? Like electronic golf,
right?
And we
no.
do a
First
thing.
time I saw it, that's what I thought.
Oh
too.
Crap! Her name is eGolf, and now or eGolf, or like you said, whatever.
Yeah, who knows what it is? I'll reach out to her and we'll find out.
Thank you, Leanne. We love you. Sherwin, next.
Well, Talladega Super Speedway climbed on board there pretty recently.
We've been tweeting back and forth with them, and I think they said, "Oh, holy crap! So sorry. We thought we were following you already."
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't.
Well,
assume
it was
anything
right around this time where they announced the whole Talladega plus the Braves, so you can buy like an $80 ticket to get you into Talladega, and then we'll also get you into a Braves game, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that'll be super. I mean, that's awesome. I hope they get a lot of traction with that one. And last, Sherwin, give us this one. This is awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of you have probably heard of a Fox TV personality named Caitlin Vincey. Former NASCAR on Fox pit road reporter for the trucks, has now been promoted to the desk for the pre-race and the mid-race and the post-race shows that are recorded in, or filmed, I should say, in Charlotte. So she doesn't travel as much, was probably nice because she's got a young child. And believe it or not, has agreed to come on the podcast.
Whoa, look out, sir. Sherwin, I was scrolling back in my text because I was looking for something, and you had texted me, this had to be 3-4 months ago, because I was really looking for something. I was looking for a picture that I needed. And maybe 3 months ago, because like I said, I was looking for a picture that I needed. And I remember seeing, and I was like, this is hilarious that I just scrolled past this text from Sherwin, and it said, Kim Coon would be on my Mount Rushmore list of people to have on the show. And so, Sherwin, there's your Mount Rushmore. We have etched it in.
We're filling it in.
Thank you, Kim.
Our Mount Rushmore might eventually have to have about 15 people on it, but certainly
that's okay. There's plenty of room.
Cross him off. Cross her off. Thank you so much to Kim. Sounded like we, maybe have a good chance to do another one. I don't think we ran her off.
We'll see. Get her master's degree and see if she comes back. For the PhD.
Well, we can ask her in person at Talladega. By God,
that's right. You know what we need to do is we need to have a wall of PhDs. You know what I'm saying? And we'll put pictures up right here. I've got the space.
What did we call that thing in the fraternity everybody's picture was on?
Oh, shoot. What was that called?
What is that thing called? It's not monolith.
No, I know what you're saying.
We're digressing. All these people are probably like, what the hell are y'all even talking about?
Yeah, turn it off. Well, why haven't you turned off already? We're going to start playing the theme song here in a second. What was that thing called?
Damn it.
I'm going to be pissed for the next
we're going to have to Google
minutes.
it. Y'all are going to have to just hang on for a second. You're going to have to deal with it. We're Googling this thing.
Okay, yeah. Fraternity picture... Composite?
Composite.
Okay. There we go. I was trying to think of the word to use to call it what it was,
God
and the
damn
word
it.
composite came to me. Oh, that's funny. Anyway, all right. Well, that was very anticlimactic.
Sorry, y'all.
With that, let's close this thing down, Sherwin.
This is what happens when the guest leaves early. We start to sort of, it's like herding cats around here.
I hope y'all have had some fun. We've had a lot of fun. With that, y'all know what the deal is. PTMpodcast.com, at PTM Podcast on the Twitter handle. And Jensen Jorgensen, we already talked about sponsoring again this year. Thank you, PTM Posse. We can't thank you enough. That's so cool. Thank you. And we'll talk to y'all next week. It's going to be awesome.
I was going to say, I don't think we would ever be able to convey how proud Jensen's dad is of the opportunity that his racing and his behavior as a human being has afforded him in this process. And you are a part of that. You are a part of the people that have made his dad extremely proud.
We're just the delivery boys.
Yeah, we're the
y'all,
conduit.
Y'all are the y'all are the meat here. So thank you. It's so cool. So cool meeting them. Like you said, making a daddy proud is like, that's so neat to me. I'm getting goosebumps now. Sherwin, let's close the thing out. As always, Tailgate Mayor Rusty Wallace at Tailgate Mayor.
And at Pregame Engineer, currently moonlighting as Daryl Sweetwater III. Everybody enjoy all them ham sandwiches. Go click on my Instagram, Andrew L. Sherwin. And y'all have a great week. We're going to see you at Talladega. And it's
y'all,
gonna get
if you're
rowdy.
coming to Talladega, come reach out to us. We're going to have some fun. We will talk to y'all next week. See you later. Skoo!
Laughing, drafting, round and round. One more lap, there goes the crowd. We are NASCAR. Wave the flag. Foot on the gas. And let's go, 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 go. And it's full throttle, it's wide open. It's cold beer bottles and good times rolling. We're built for speed and we ain't slowing down. It's found in the groove, it's the thrill of the chase. It's running on fumes and a checkered first place. We're stealing wheels and racing hard.
We are NASCAR. We are NASCAR.
We are NASCAR. We are NASCAR.
Sydney.
Awesome.
Woo! Redneck noise.
Folks on the old YouTuber, thank you.
Man, I didn't flip over there for a long time. I apologize to y'all.
As always, for hanging out. Thank you, Beast. Thank you, Roger. Thank you, JoJo. Thank you, everybody. Ed. Anybody who's still hanging out for no particular reason other than to get the
Us
PTM.
just being
You know what? Who was
stupid.
it last week? Somebody said, hey, we need some more PTM after show, PTM after dark.
Oh,
And
do we?
It's sure dark outside.
It's
so,
damn sure dark.
I
I mean, I got to finish up this beer.
I'll show y'all what we do, and I don't know. Maybe you're boring, and next week,
This
or
is
maybe
the
I'm boring.
earliest we've finished a show in a while, so maybe we got a minute or two to
It
do
is.
this.
Yeah, it probably is.
Goofing off a little bit. Y'all stick around, my God. Get you another beer.
So what it usually is, it's a matter of our bladders. So as y'all know, we sit here and drink on the show, and then it's like, all right, y'all, we got to go. See you later. Bye. Because I have to pee so bad that I can't even stand around anymore.
You know what? I'm actually in good shape on that. What am I drinking, Sherwin? I'm drinking a Sweetwater.
Oh, you're drinking the weed beer.
Yeah, I'm drinking Bubba Kush Mango Wheat, buddy. This thing smells. It smells like the Danky Dizank.
Not that I would know what that smells like, but I know what that smells like.
Somebody told me. I would have never known.
Yeah. And
be honest with you.
that stuff is it's as close as you can get to that without it being that.
Oh, it gets bartenders in trouble when they have new managers that don't understand what beer was just poured.
Right. I mean,
Like,
there's
really, can
yeah.
you go put that
Yeah.
in your car?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's the beer, jerk.
If you've ever had anybody like open a Tupperware of edibles or a Tupperware of green, and you go,
Not that we would know what that is.
no. Well, I've been around somebody who's opened
Oh,
a
yeah,
Tupperware
yeah, okay.
before, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh, at a racetrack for sure.
well, anywhere. How about in an enclosed space? How about in a car? And you're like, dude, you got to put that
God
away.
almighty.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Is this a dispensary?
But then you're like, you know what? That's pretty cool. But
We're having fun, y'all. We are adults. We are closer to 40
Speak
than
for
not.
yourself on adults.
Oh, no,
man.
no. I mean, like, according to the law, we're
talk,
adults.
Well, yeah. Don't talk about 40. Actually, you know what?
No, I need to because
You got to get yourself in the mindset.
well, no, we need to make plans.
Oh, true. Well, we got to go to the titty club.
No. Bigger plans than that.
Oh, we got to go to the Vegas titty club, I guess. Is that what we're saying?
Bigger than that.
Bigger than that? Are we going to Amsterdam? I don't know where we're
No, we're going to hole 16 for the waste management
TPC. Poop. Oh, poop. Talking about waste management.
That's what we're
Hole
doing.
number 16. I'm going to heckle everybody on that one. And if the caddy ain't running his ass off, I'm going to throw a full beer, sir.
Right. So we'll go to Vegas like that Wednesday night and acquire supplies. And then Thursday morning, we will hit a jumper from Vegas to Phoenix and cruise to Glendale. That's what's in my mind right now.
So Roger says vodka is the elixir for Polacks and those who know them. Roger, I got to tell you a funny story. When I was younger and all of my family was horrifically racist, right? My grandmother used to tell me Polak jokes, and I didn't even know what that meant. Right?
They were just funny because you didn't know, because
and
you've
it was
never
like,
met a
and
Polish guy.
I didn't know that it was Polish. I didn't know where Poland was. Like, you got to go many, many things back. I learned the word Polak before I knew what the word Poland was. Now, I also learned the N-word before I met a black person. So that's how bad this stuff goes, right?
There's recovery in gaining wisdom, guys.
Right. I feel like I'm a little more woke.
We won't get too deep into that next week, but next week's guest is Corey Ryan Forrester. We're going to talk some NASCAR, but he is a comedian from Chickamauga, Georgia, who has dealt with a lot of the things that Rusty just mentioned.
Right. And so you.
So we might dive into a little bit of a thicker sliver of the social world than we may have would have normally, but certainly not enough to piss anybody off. But
so imagine, like, all I thought was that Polak was a stupid person, and that was kind of the point.
Me too.
I guess
I thought it was just a dumbass.
It was a funny word. How many
for
Polaks
dumbass.
does it take to? And I was like, those Polak. That's and so then you understand as Polish people, and hey, your food is awesome. So now I'm like, you start rubbing your temples, and you're like, all those Polak jokes I used to tell when I was a kid, and I didn't know that I was talking about. Like, I love sausage and sauerkraut and freaking potatoes and stuff. And now what am I?
It's a pretty wild experience now that you get so much exposure to all this stuff without you don't even have to try.
Right.
You used to have to try to be
right.
like a worldly person. Now it's pretty easy to just kind of look and see.
So, point is, don't judge a book by its cover. And
we love
somebody like me is willing to, and I think that's why I'm always willing to learn. Why I always hedge my bets. Why I'm always like, you know what? I may be wrong. I don't know. My my brother-in-law.
Did you get to see my shirt today? I think.
Oh, let's talk about it in a second. My brother-in-law, Sherwin, the other day. My sister used to have a Nissan Frontier truck. And
I remember when she had that truck.
Yeah, I like that truck. That's a good truck. Her husband, who's not a NASCAR guy, he's not a car guy, he's not a truck guy. I'm a NASCAR guy. I'm a truck guy. I'm a car guy. I'm into all this. And for some reason we were talking about, I know what it was. My dad was trying to buy a Honda Ridgeline at one point. I made fun of him because that's a front-wheel drive truck. And so he went and bought a Cadillac EXT.
I remember that.
The big truck. And he's got rims and all this mess. And my mom made fun of me because, or not made fun of me, but got on to me. She's like, he only bought that because you were making fun of him about that Ridgeline. And I said, well, yeah, I would still make fun of him about the Ridgeline. Anyway, we were relating that story. And my brother-in-law said, Steph's old truck, Steph's my sister Stephanie, Steph's old truck, the Nissan Frontier, was a front-wheel drive. And I went, I'm pretty sure it wasn't. And he's like, oh, yeah, that was front-wheel drive. I'm like, all right, look, I'm not going to get into this. This ain't my thing. And I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm only on the 1% deal here on being wrong. But that 1% for me, that sliver, always gives me the like, hey, I ain't here to argue. I ain't here to mess. But that thing was rear-wheel drive. I don't know, you can go up under it and look at that drive shaft run the freaking length of the bed.
The Cadillac one?
No, the Frontier. The Nissan Frontier that my sister
Oh,
had.
hell yeah, it was rear.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You can pull shit with it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And
you
so
can't pull shit with that Ridgeline.
Here's a problem. If you come at me with a fact that's not a fact, but you're so convinced and you have this conviction of it, I'm like, whoa, I'm not gonna go over the top on your conviction. I'm just gonna be like, hey, I appreciate what your conviction is. I don't think that's right, but you know what? I will be proved wrong. And so my sister, being the type of person she is, she's like, I'm looking it up right now. And she goes, it's rear-wheel drive, you idiot, and puts the thing in front of her husband's face. And I'm like, I ain't getting in front of this, y'all.
This ain't my fight.
Trying. Yeah, this ain't my thing. But I want to fight that I wasn't in. Anyway, I don't know where we were going with all that.
Oh, we're doing that PETM After Dark.
After Dark? Are we having fun after dark yet, y'all? I hope you're having fun.
Somebody told me the other day that PTM After Dark was something they'd like to see more of. And I'm not saying, like, let's get deep and woolly. Obviously, we don't want to do that because we don't want to poison the good 50 minutes that we did before. But it's not that you can't have a little bit of fun.
Yeah. Hey, Beast drives a Nissan Frontier. That's awesome. I love that.
Definitely not front-wheel drive.
Definitely not front-wheel drive.
I knew it wasn't because you could pull it. You could get the package with the trailer hitch.
I don't think you can buy a front-wheel drive Nissan Frontera. That's
it doesn't exist.
Right. You can't buy it.
That was the thing about the Ridgeline. It was the only truckish looking thing that was front-wheel drive because Honda didn't make. Not only did they not make a parallel V6 transmission for anything except maybe one of those little sporty deals. Mm-hmm. Like I don't even think the VTEC little fast thing, the Prelude. I'm pretty sure that was front wheel drive too. Mm-hmm. They didn't invest in that transmission technology.
Yeah. I think there was a time for a while that the Ford Explorer, that's their flagship SUV, real SUV, not like mom UV or anything. They're real SUV.
It was built on the Ranger frame.
Right. But then it went to a front wheel for a while, and I think it's going back to a rear wheel again or something.
Well, when they built the V8, that was definitely rear wheel. You can't have V8 on the front end unless you're a Nissan. They're the only ones that ever figured that out.
Yeah, I mean, all you're going to do is spin wheels and look at me.
Well, it's that torque steer thing.
Yeah.
But I think they were all 6 cylinders with supers, the ones that you'd seen in the movies that Fast and Furious.
Oh, Tokyo Drift shit?
Yeah,
stuff.
Tokyo Drift shit. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, that was just a random...
You also can't drift a front-wheel drive car. Doesn't work the same way.
No, you can. You can if you put the lunch trays on the rear wheels. That's the key.
Yeah.
Oh man, you get you that rental car, and then you go steal a couple trays from your local Piccadilly or wherever.
That parking brake.
Put that parking brake on so they don't move, and then you're gonna just have you a time. In the parking lot,
especially if it's a wet parking lot.
Yeah. That thing.
I can admit I haven't done that, but I know exactly what it is.
Oh my goodness! Yeah. That's good times, y'all. Good times. PTM After Dark. Hope you're having fun.
Definitely After Dark, and I'm gonna need some more of this.
Some more. You need some dark here.
Yeah, I do.
What? You know what? It's funny. That's like a text between me and Sherwin. That's one of those things y'all don't see on the back end. Before he comes over, sometimes he'll be like, "Hey," he'll text me and go, "Hey, you got dark?" And all that means is exactly what he's holding up in the camera right there. You got some dark stuff for us to drink.
You got brown?
You got brown. Yeah, that's what it is. You got brown? Yeah, I got brown.
Because usually I'll bring something, but I've been kind of out of the mode of that.
It's fine. The point is,
I'm going to bring plenty of this to Talladega. I promise you that.
You got dark or you got brown? Oh, I got brown. Yeah. You ain't even got to worry about it.
I'm going to leave that liquor store with a box.
Oh, man. When you walk out of the liquor store with a box, you both feel like you're the king of the world when you're walking toward the door. You're like, look at me, I got a box. And then you walk out into the world and you're like, I got to hide this.
This is heavy.
Yeah. Just like, I'm an alcoholic. These people are going to know. You march it into your house and your neighbors are watching. You're like, I'm throwing a party, but y'all aren't invited?
Pretty much I'm the only one invited.
Yeah, this is my party. It's just
needed to restock the bar. Everything went empty at the same time.
Right. Just coincidental. I didn't just drink it all last weekend by myself.
Look here now. There's a couple of bottles of wine in here, all right? You settle down.
It's just, it's mostly mixers. That's
this isn't all handles
sure.
of golden grain, okay?
For sure. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and, I have to, here's something Sherwin might not know. I actually code after every podcast, after all drinking, I am actually writing HTML code right now to make this thing happen.
100% believe that.
It's very little, but I do have to put it in there so that iTunes picks it up. And then I have to go to FeedBurner, and then I have to go to feeds.feedburner, make sure I pick up our feed, close that, open that, and then hit the ping. And then once I click that button, that should put our show on iTunes.
In theory.
Yep. So that's what goes into doing iTunes, y'all, is after a while you get used to it.
But the YouTube's still actually recording. Or is it just like...
Oh, yeah, YouTube's still recording, but look at this. We are on iTunes.
All right.
So if you're seeing that, iTunes PTM 192
technology, y'all,
is now up. So there it is. That's what it takes. We're now on iTunes. So now, if you go to ptmpodcast.com right now, and you look at the and folks, if you're on your computer and you're on the YouTube right now, I want you to go to ptmpodcast.com so you can see this happen live. Because this stuff happened, hey, this is After Dark. This is what we're here for.
Holy shite! I'm not brave enough to code under the influence.
Go to the
Rusty's gotten better at it, y'all. I guarantee.
Yeah, go to the site right now. On the front page, you're going to see last week's episode, April 17th, 2019, PTM 191. Now, I go in every week, just like I'm doing right now, and I'm putting in some new HTML, which, y'all, if you're a coder, this isn't like rocket surgery or nothing. It's just HTML. But I do have to edit a few things. Put that one.
That thing don't work the other way around too good because the flip side of rocket surgery is brain science.
Brain science. Ooh, brain science sounds harder than rocket surgery. Done it to you?
Yeah, it's like metal parts versus like a bunch of live shit you can't manage too good. You can't even see what it's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we hadn't even figured out how to diagnose CTE while people are still alive.
Yeah. Brain science.
We're just on the edge of figuring that out.
But rocket surgery, we've got all day.
Rocket surgery is, Elon Musk has got that on lockdown.
No kidding. All right, y'all. If you're on the website right now, I'm going to hit this button, and it's going to do this little deal right there. Now I want you to hit refresh. Make sure you hit refresh, and then you'll see that on the front page now, April 23rd, 2019, PTM 192, we're All Glassholes with Kimmy Coon, and the little widget is correct. So there you go. If you're following along, that's how it works. We put it up. That's about how fast it takes. Is I put it up on iTunes, made sure that happened. The longest part about this whole process is actually rendering the audio. So once we finish, I have to file save as and save it as an MP3. And then it takes a long time for it to actually render the MP3 itself.
Sure.
Otherwise, it's just, upload it here, change a few little things.
If you uploaded it or you've downloaded it as an MP4, it'd be like 975,000 gigs.
Gigs,
and
too. Yeah.
And your computer would just slap shut the F down.
Right.
We're trying to record with Kelly, which we need to revisit.
True. We did a whole podcast with her that does not exist
it exists in
electronics
no space
or anything. Yeah.
There's an hour worth of chatter.
Now I'm going to.
We have not been invited back.
True. Now I'm going to go on Twitter and tweet out the link to it. And that should do it right there. Tweet. And then if I go to our Twitter, make sure I'm click the right thing.
Click.
Boom, boom,
It
boom.
probably doesn't help that I'm got it open. But
No, that's cool. And then I just need to pin that to the profile page so that it is pinned as our
readily
latest
available
tweet for the next week. That'll be the pinned tweet, and there it is, Sherwin. All of my what I'll call
tomfoolery is
all of my responsibilities are now complete, and the only last thing I have to do is close out the live YouTube deal. So, y'all.
All right. Well, hashtag 100%. Thanks y'all for hanging out with us. This was actually
No.
pretty
Before we
damn fun.
leave, let's talk about your T-shirt, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Y'all look at this T-shirt. If you're still hanging out, Maverick Goose 2020 is Sherwin's shirt. It's got the two.
Bring back that love and feeling.
Yeah, and then underneath, bring back that love and feeling. I mean, pick it up, dude. This thing's mobile.
Oh yeah.
Make that thing work for you.
Well, I'm fat. I don't want to get it too damn.
Well, there's that. Maverick Goose
we got
20.
Maverick and Goose running for president.
That's right.
Bringing back that love and feeling.
Man, that's awesome. All right, y'all.
You know what's really funny about it though is they were playing war games over top of my house from like 3:30 until like 6 o'clock.
Today? That's awesome. Coming out of Dobbins and just like hitting
Who knows?
northeast.
Must have been effing with the Coast Guard that's over on Lake Lanier or something. Who knows?
That's awesome. Sweet. All right, y'all. With that, hope you had fun at the PTM after show, the PTM after dark. Maybe we'll do this a little more often, and maybe I won't have to pee as bad as I do a lot of
Currently
times.
do. Yeah.
I'm at medium P right now. Where are you at with P?
I'm at like medium rare P.
Oh, so you're okay. You're like, okay.
I could have lasted another 25 minutes probably without being upset about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably do another drink, but I would say, yeah, medium. I won't go medium rare, but there's medium. It's knocking on the door. It's saying hello.
Yeah.
Anyway, see y'all next time. Thank you for joining. Peace out.